Hey there, lunch breakers.
Wow.
It's so great to be back. And of course it is, as always.
Great to be back.
Yes. And as you know, this has and always will be the month of the guest. And I will tease you a little bit right now. There will be a guest.
Yeah. Can I tease people a little bit more, please?
Okay.
I'm just going to read a couple things, and this will start to get your brain churning, like, who is our guest? Who is our guest? So just think about this. Brian Woods, Arger McMacken, Russell Doughton, Ernest B. Schoedzak, Aaron Douglas Johnston, S. Toriano Berry, Laurel Nakadate, Joseph Kosinski. That's just to name a few.
Okay.
Think about those. Get your brain churning like the churned butter you might see at the store.
May I?
Yeah.
Like butter.
Like butter.
Well, don't do it better than me after I do it.
This is Lunch Break. Hasn't always will be the months of the guests. So don't get your little tushy in a little bundle.
Tushy? No, don't. And
this is not an ad for Tushy.
no.
We're not doing that anymore. There was an accident involving a Tushy device.
Yes.
That is why you may have noticed one of our guests from this month sounded a little perturbed.
Yes.
They were in pain.
Yes. And of course we heard the comments. We will do a background check next time. We're not going to platform problematic people anymore. At least I hope so. And we'll ask our next guest if they have any problematic.
We'll ask Ernest guest. Landon hears comments. When people give comments, he just scrolls through Twitter and he goes, I hear you. No, loud and clear.
Well, because people just want to be heard.
Or if it's in all caps, you're like,
too loud. So
stop!
What's them names for?
The names is for, well, let me just read a couple more to you. Romaine Fielding, Ron Clements, Clem Beauchamp, Jessica Sharzer,
I went to school with her.
Andrew Sherburne,
I went to school with him.
Philip Reblis,
And him too.
and, of course, Ben Godar. These are, of course, what comes up when you Google filmmakers from Iowa.
Yes. I went to school with most of them.
Yeah, and they've gone on to do great things. Of course, we are on the list, and
Of course.
unfortunately, it says no longer filmmaker. It says barred from ever doing it again.
Yeah.
It says lunch break is the scourge upon which we will lay our hat. I don't even know what that means.
And I'm like, remember Scourge? That was
you
such
remember
a
that?
awesome drink
Do you
that we
remember-
used to drink.
Oh, when I was a kid, I'd get a big old glass of that green scourge.
But we can't live in the past any longer.
Remember Scurvy?
The guy that hosts Family Feud? And he's a judge now? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, Judge Scurvy.
Look,
He doesn't want to host that show no more.
Feud?
He'll look at the camera and he just says, I don't want to host this show no more.
Well, he can't be hosting the judge show. I watched some of that. It was bad. Anyway, okay. All of those names, yet we missed one, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Okay,
Because
we have
we have the one that we missed
so embarrassing.
on the show today. From hey, where are you from? And we'll introduce you.
Where
in a
are you
second.
from?
Where are you from?
From Bettendorf, Iowa.
From Bettendorf, Iowa. At 5 foot. Hey, how tall are you?
6 foot.
6 foot. Even.
Whoa.
Good God, he's a tall guy. Relevant to us who are small.
Hello.
Oh, short kings.
Yes. Whoa, short kings, and you must respect us.
Weighing in at. We can't. We've
Please
stopped
don't-
doing that.
We cannot ask our guests anymore about their weight.
I don't mind.
Oh,
192.
All right.
Weighing in at 192.
Not as even as the height.
I wish it would have been 190.
Yeah.
Or even 200.
Even 195 I'll take. No, you're right. 200.
Weighing in at 250 pounds. Jon Dziuk.
Hi, John.
Thanks for having me on. Hi, how's it going?
Welcome to the show. And he's so modest, but of course that's what we love about him. He's made many films. I've been in some of them, and we'll get to that.
God.
But Jon Dziuk, Iowa filmmaker, what's going on?
Not much. Just got back from the gym and needed to do this with you because you asked me to be on this podcast today, and I was like, well, I want to do it. Sounds awesome. So
Okay,
let's go.
I was going to say we might have to cut that because you first said that we kind of made you do it.
That you had to do
but
it.
then you did say that you want to do it. So
Yes.
we'll probably just leave that part in. We'll
We'll
cut
just
out
splice
the
that
first
in.
part.
And of course, we did have this in the works for months. Our people got with your people, and
Yeah, and Landon kept saying it's not going to be. He's like, it's not about me. I just want to have. I'm like, you're going to bring up the fact that you've acted in his stuff. He's like, no, I don't think that's even going to come
Well, I
up.
think it's
I just
just-
like that he's a filmmaker and I respect his work. And I said, you're going to bring up the fact that you've acted in things.
it's not so much that, it's that we have whole episodes of you talking about the movie that you're in.
Landon's scrolling on IMDb right now at all of his credits.
Hey,
Watch the video.
there's more than you'd expect. Don't watch the video.
Oh crap, we're on video. I just got caught lying. Have you heard that Elton John song, the new one, John, where it's Dua Lipa just singing an Elton John song?
No.
You should check it out.
What's your favorite Elton John
Okay.
song?
Oh, shoot. Crocodile Rock, probably.
All
Yep.
right.
Thank you for being on the show. Because we have so many more questions to ask. First of all, this is lunch break. You know that. Big fan. You always tell me. You know that we have to know what you watch.
No?
For sure.
What
Yep.
What do I watch?
what are you into? What inspires you? What gets your little noggin flowing down the river Styx? Is that good or
Are you
bad?
talking?
I think that's pretty bad. The river stinks.
Well, after the
No,
fun
are-
of 08.
God. Another thing you can't stop talking about.
I mean, are you guys talking like TV or movies?
Oh, Mike. Oh, man. Dude, bro. Hecka anything, dude.
Yeah.
Anything
All right.
that gets your brain churning like butter.
Well, I mean,
But
I love
mainly
superhero
movies.
films. I mean, I love superhero films. You know, I like horror movies quite a bit. I mean, I just saw the Batman like twice, which I don't know. That's a superhero film, but they were definitely trying to put some horror stuff in there with the Riddler.
They
When I saw it the
tried.
first time.
I think they succeeded.
Well, they were pulling some kids out of like some parents had to take their kids out of the theater because I was like, kind of like, what are you guys expecting with this movie?
Yeah.
Like, it basically was. It seemed like the Riddler was out of like the movie Seven, which I guess the director wanted to do. So
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Worked for me.
It's got strong spacey vibes. They're like, let's make him be like Spacey. And they're like, what? That's all they pitched at first. That's what I read. They said we want the evil villain to be like Kevin Spacey. And they're like,
For sure.
I get, that is one of the most terrifying things you could be. I've seen those,
Yeah.
those Thanksgiving videos where he acts like the
I
guy
was
from
going to
House
say,
of Cards.
it's just the Riddler sitting in like Central Park and he's like, let me be the Riddler. And he starts kind of just talking about how he's innocent. That was very scary.
Yeah. No, I think you know what I love about the Batman. We can't get into it too much.
No, and we're still kind of in that little area known as spoiler country.
That's right.
Get on out of here! Don't get out of spoiler country. You don't belong here.
But it's the first time in my humble. This is just one man's
You be careful. You watch
humble
yourself.
opinion. They made the Batman scary.
All right, no spoiler.
We're introduced to the Batman as if he's freaking Freddy or he's Jason. He's lurking in the shadows in a way that I've never seen before on a film. Very much comic book-esque, and I loved it. I love that movie. What'd you think of the movie overall?
Me? I mean, well, I saw it twice, so I liked
Hated
it
it.
quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Splice
Saw
that
it
in.
twice, so I hated it. But and I mean, I don't know. I love Batman, so I would have a hard time not liking a Batman. I mean, even Batman and Robin, I'm like, I can sit down and watch that.
Yeah, I like
but I
that
mean-
one. It's funny.
Yeah,
I'll take
know,
a funny
but yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
funny Batman. Yeah, I mean, I like the Batman quite a bit. It was a good time. I don't know. They did it kind of right. I liked how they made Gotham seem like the real Gotham out of the comics, just like
Yeah.
I don't know, dank and dirty and probably a place you don't really want to be. I mean, I know like in Batman Begins, they tried to say how, yeah, Gotham's horrible, but, it didn't look that horrible.
Yeah, it's just Chicago.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, just Chicago, which I guess Chicago is. It has some bad areas.
Hey,
So
now Joey, of course, Joey's from the streets of Chicago, and he was born and raised in the gutter of Chicago.
oh, man.
If you're not watching the video, you couldn't see this, but Landon laid his hand on me, and it just reminded me of the alleys of the Chicago. And I just thought of this. Tell me if this is funny. I was thinking of maybe doing it on a show that happens late at night. The Bears.
The Bears.
He likes it.
He gave him, and for those of you who can see the back of the laptop, we're looking at a video of him, and he is nodding his head in approval.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Enthusiastically.
So, John, you like the Batman? Do you like that Spider-Man movie?
Spider-Man? Yeah.
Spoderman.
Yeah.
Definitely, except for the two cameos that you weren't supposed to know about, but everybody knew about.
It's the
Still
worst
work.
kept
I like
secret in
it.
Hollywood. It's the worst kept secret in Hollywood.
You're towing the line, buddy.
Yeah.
You're towing the line.
Oh, come on.
Okay, they put the pictures online. We all know.
We all know.
Yep.
J. Jonah Jameson was played by the guy who wears the bald cap.
Yep. Get me the Spoderman.
So you like Spider-Man? Okay, here's a horror film question that
Sure.
we're going to have to get into at some point, so we might as well do it with you.
Landon, do it now.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The new one on Netflix.
Just
Texas Chainsaw.
yeah.
You watch this?
Yeah, I saw it.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Oh.
it looked pretty good, but I mean, it wasn't a great film. And they were trying to pull some like, I don't know. They're trying to comment on current issues and kind of like social justice warrior stuff that I think obviously didn't hit very well with most people who saw the film.
He's not pulling any punches. Most people in this industry, they go, oh, I saw it. Yeah, I liked it. I liked what they were doing because they're scared. They're scared that the people that own Weinstein Films are not going to let them be in any of their future movies. John's not scared. John's not scared.
He's like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I was so mad I don't even pull my punches no more. Remember that?
And you're just sitting there sobbing into your bucket of corn.
He's so mad he's killing people. Because if Spider-Man were to not pull his punches, he would kill someone. His fist would go right through their head and make a bloody pulp.
Yeah. Their head would look like a donut.
I guess I didn't think about that, but that is true. Now that you point that out about that scene in the movie, yeah, I guess Spider-Man not pulling his punches isn't very realistic. Shoot, man, why you wrecking the movie for me?
Hey, I think it's actually makes it even cooler because he's so gosh darn sad about his little Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah, he is. He is. It's not true. It's true. He is. Because she fell through all the gears of the clock, churning like butter. And he goes, yes, no. And then everyone in the theater, when he reached down. And I don't want to get into any spoilers, but he is in the new Spider-Man movie. So when the Texas man, he comes for you, what are you going to do? Are you going to run into an old abandoned house? What would you do if the man we know as Leatherface comes for you? What's your strategy?
I don't think there's any strategy based on that movie.
God,
there was
that's
no way to
dark.
run from that guy.
Yeah, it's almost stupid.
Imagine you're 80 and you can run. You have ultimate endurance. My knees hurt. I'm nearing 25. Mm-hmm. I'm about to turn 25 in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And my knees hurt all the time. And this guy's 80. He's running through the streets of a hipster town that's going to be turned into a hipster town where a bunch of millennials are just buying up the property. None of this is Zilcho. And I know Joey saw it and he actually liked it.
This is just so
Today,
Junior. To be one of these young people like we are, nearing 25, and we're
in a couple of years.
In a couple of years when we turn 25, which means we haven't even old people like the 80-year-old, he's weighed down by years of drinking. You know, he's got beer. So we haven't been weighed down by the bread drink yet because we're not legally allowed to drink it yet.
Right.
Landon and I.
Yeah.
So we are so... We take one little step in the house, our little 96-pound frame. Creak! But then the Texas man can somehow mute his Texas machine, and then he can kind of get somewhere else in the house.
Yeah.
And then he comes, and people listening to this, they're kind of like, oh, come on, guys. We had fun watching the movie. And Landon warned me before I went to watch this movie, because I did go.
You rented a theater out?
I knocked on my door. I said, can I come in? So I went and I watched the movie, and Landon said there's a kind of a subplot in this movie that's bonkers to me that they even chose to do this.
I think what I said was it's inappropriate to a level that should have been immediately squashed.
Are you talking about the school shooter thing?
Yeah.
Because the second...
Well, see, I don't know how into spoilers we're allowed to get with this. Are we not allowed to do spoilers?
Nah, spoil it.
All right, so
everyone knows what's going to happen when you go to one of these movies anyway.
Well, so when they started pulling that storyline in where one of the girls had survived a school shooting and her, confronting the other face is her getting over her PTSD and,
Right.
confronting that.
Insane.
I'm like, well, at the end of the movie, like every horror movie, the bad guy is still there, pops out, right?
Yeah,
I'm like,
of course.
it would be immoral for them to have that happen, and they do that. And when that happened, I'm just like, first off, that ending would have been really cool, but what it means, it's like, hey, you thought you got over it? Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like, that's so bad. I was like, good Lord.
Shockingly irresponsible.
It does nothing. It does nothing.
It says nothing.
Because and not to spoil too much, but there is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre scene where she is almost reliving her school shooting situation.
Yes.
Just to go through it again, just because.
Right.
It does not make her stronger.
No.
And then just crazy. Like, oh, she's finally going to she'll be able to use the gun. Like,
Right.
okay, this is all just so tone deaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so many steps you have to go through to get a movie made, and no one said, let's maybe cut that out.
It doesn't need to happen. Because
I give them credit for going there because they touched on a lot of topics that I'm like, man, if you guys don't do this right, which I don't think they did, you're going to get some flack for it.
Yeah.
It's just their stance on guns, the whole school shooting thing, the fact that there are people debating right now whether or not they want all the Californians coming into Texas and that whole culture shock thing. It's just you're just like, wow, they're touching on all of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are, and then they're also setting up. You never see the Texans kind of come out and be like, we're not actually these dumb rednecks.
Yeah.
Because they kind of just end up that way. Where it's like, I just live in Texas and this is my gun.
Well, and they don't do what any Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I've ever seen does, which is make everyone in on it. Don't they? Isn't everyone part of it? Like the sheriff, it turns out to be like, that's my son, Bubba. And you're like, no, even he's helping the Chainsaw Massacre, man.
I watched before.
They don't do any of that.
Before watching this one, I rewatched. I rewatched the original, and then I rewatched Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, which may be worse than this one. It's not great. It's very loud and just
Is that the one with Chop Top and everything like that?
Yeah, and it's
the
fun.
One that got kind of goofy.
That
one has a cult following. Yeah,
for good
fun
reason.
and goofy. It's fun and goofy in a bad way. but also a good way. Where it's like,
like this podcast.
It's fun and goofy in a good way, but it's also kind of bad.
Yeah.
But to come back, to have the original director come back 14 years later or whatever, and he's like, this is the story that I have to tell. And it's just some cartoon with Bill Moseley or whatever. But and then watching this one, I was like, I can't tell. That one, maybe I would prefer to watch that one over this one again. But I do, like, he is 80. Like, because it's the same guy.
It's the same guy.
Because we're erasing it. They're doing the Halloween thing. Everything is kaput except for the original.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was another comment on this one. I'm like, they're really kind of ripping off that whole concept that Halloween did, where it's like, all right, we're going to disregard everything after number one, and we'll just say he was in the, insane asylum for, 20, 40 years? I can't remember what the specific number was, and Michael Myers is old and still kicking around pretty good, and they're like, we can do that with Leatherface too.
Yeah.
But given now they did that with Scream, they've done that with I don't know, a good number of movies now. So
it's just lazy. It's lazy.
Well, the way they do it too, which we talked about before, is they bring back the quote unquote original Scream Queen from the first film, which is not the same person. So when she first turns around and you see her face, who cares?
It's not
anyone.
It's not Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. And then that doesn't pay off either. She finally, this is her chance to get back at him. Just, if you see this movie, know this. It doesn't pay off.
It doesn't pay off.
And from the second you start watching the movie, you'll probably, you can probably call that. Say, this movie's probably not going to pay off.
Yeah.
Well, that's a mistake they made in this movie that also made me kind of mad. I hate when they take a classic movie, let's say the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because that's what we're talking about.
Sure.
I'm on
board. How that girl survives at the end. It's like, so all right, we went through all that trouble in that movie, and we're happy that she survived, and now you're gonna kill her. Or you're gonna tell me that, hey, 40 years down the road, he's gonna get her. I'm just like, that just makes me mad. I mean, they did that between Aliens and Alien 3 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of did that with the new Halloween. Some of the, one of the kids gets two of the kids from the original movie gets murdered as adults. So you're like, well, I'm glad they survived in the original so I can know that they die down the road by Michael Myers. It's stuff like that just bugs me.
Yeah. What are you trying to tell us with that? You're telling us something different than the original.
The worst is Jaws 5. I love the movie Jaws, and I kind of disregard any of the movies after that because, I think it's number 5 where they basically say that shark eventually gets Chief Brody. He was so afraid, he just died of fright. I'm like, really? Because in the movie he wins. I don't know. That's just me, though.
That shark scared him to death.
Yes.
Wow. I'm gonna go watch that.
Yep. Okay, so you love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's see what.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, let's get into You.
Cool.
The series, Netflix's You. What do you think?
I haven't seen any of that.
Oh God! No!
But seriously, you have a movie. Now, is this a feature? It's not technically a feature, is it?
The Girl Who Stole Your Smile?
That's the one.
That's the one. So it's 50 minutes, 60 with credits. I mean, technically for film festivals, it's the feature length. But it's I just call it long form at this point. I mean, originally it was supposed to be 75 minutes or something, but it was kind of weird. When we were in film school and they're like, hey, you have to make a 5-minute film, I would eventually have a 10-minute film you have to cut into 5.
Right.
But when I want an hour and 15-minute movie, I'm like, I don't have enough. How did this happen? And I don't know.
Well, as I always say, you make the movie that needs to be made. If there ain't enough, and I always say that, Joey knows that.
Yeah, he said that about talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I said this movie wasn't really good, and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "You make the movie that needs to be made." And I said, "You think this movie needed to be made?"
Okay, let's just say when Leatherface gets on the bus and everyone holds up their phones and says, "I'm going to cancel your ass."
I squeed.
I said Slay Kings and Queens, and I said yeehaw to the tall kings and the short kings.
I said, here comes the Texas goat. And
But that all being said, this movie, You've put it through the film festivals, yes.
Yep, and we didn't get in any.
And now it's on YouTube for everyone to watch, yes.
Yes. Yep. It is available at Screw Loose Films on the YouTube.
Now, what else you got? What else are you cooking up?
Something in the air fryer. Is there something in the air fryer? Is there something in the air fryer?
Well, yes, we are. I'm finishing up a new horror short that I think is going to be pretty good. Landon,
It's okay. Sorry, he gets.
It's gonna.
When you mention anyone short, he gets terrified.
Yeah, short king. Okay, I'm
Vern Troyer.
Well, Landon, you're going to get to see some of it pretty soon because I messaged you about workshopping some of it. So the film's called The Last Trick or Treat, and it's going to be kind of like I do like Halloween. I like the 2018 Halloween as well.
Yes.
And it's kind of like my little homage to that. And so,
Love it.
Basically The Last Trick or Treat, something with kind of a serial killer. That's going to be cool.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
I see that. I noticed that when you said that, you specified the 2018 Halloween film.
Yeah.
Care to comment on kills?
So, I mean, I like the original, and I actually like what they did, being like, all right, we're going to scrap everything between and do this new one, because I actually like the new one quite a bit. Like, I just thought it worked for me for some reason. Halloween Kills.
Loved it.
Yeah, I didn't like Halloween Kills as much.
Oh, God.
No.
He's going after all of them. He's taking down everyone. No, it was bad.
Halloween Kills sucks. Halloween 2018.
Good.
Yep.
What
I dug
happened?
it.
Danny McBride falling on him head.
Yeah. He said, what if we made it funny people?
What if we made a funnies people? Did you fall on your head? Oh, you're acting. He's pretending to
be Donnie McBee.
He's pretending to be Donnie McBee if he fell on his H. This is why Landon gets the parts. This is true.
Is that what you saw in me all those years ago when you looked at me once and you said, I need a psychopath? Think you can be a psychopath?
I really can't remember. We're talking about like enjoy the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
See,
when
for
you're the
psychopath.
Go for it.
Think you could be a psychopath?
For a while, Joey and I kind of commiserate about this all the time. At some point in our lives, we were both being typecast as people that yell, people that scream, and it was a lot during college.
Yep.
And it was because I think no one else wanted to scream or something. We can't quite put our finger on it, but if I remember right, I scream in that movie. Yes, I get mad. And
I don't think we've seen any evidence on this show that we are the type to scream as a way to get laughs or be loud just for the sake of I don't have anything funny to say, so I'm just gonna go ah.
We would never do that.
No.
Whatever works. Landon, what was your line when you screamed and enjoy the show?
Hit us with
it. Was it please come out or else I'm going to cut off your goddamn head or something?
Yeah, that was it. Yep.
That was scary. I watched that and I said, that's not my friend on screen. That's some devilish creature. And it wasn't Landon. It was someone else in the short. And then when Landon popped up, I said, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, back to your whole screaming thing. I mean, that's not how the line was written in the film. Like I thought, like you were supposed to like kind of just whisper it to him, and then you get to the end and you screamed, and I'm just like,
so it's his
fault.
fault.
We're gonna leave that in there.
Okay, so this is a good piece of evidence trying to put this whole timeline together. I screamed.
Yeah.
No one told me to.
That's the problem.
I wonder if that's what happened on all the other things that I was in.
People were just casting you and stuff, and you'd show up and you're like, no.
And I actually think the reason you got cast for that, I think I believe you could be a crazy person.
That's what I like. Yeah.
See, that's it. That's what we're looking for.
I think it was really our buddy Matt Burks he was going to be filming most of it.
Yes.
And I think he just said, hey, let's get Landon to do it because that way I won't try to be in the movie in any capacity. Because there was a point where I'm just like, fewer people on set, I'll be the killer. And he's like, how about we just get Landon? I think that's how it went, but I don't know.
I believe that because if there's one thing he knows and most people know, I'll basically do anything if you ask me to. I have no, especially at that time in my life, I'm doing anything. But also it was very fun and it was good and I knew it was going to look good because old Berksley's behind the camera and you're doing the directing and it was fun. And God, I just want to be a killer. Sometimes you just want to do it.
It's terrifying sitting next to someone that's saying this. You are on Zoom. You don't have to be in the same room. Uh-oh, he's looking at me. Everybody, if this is the last episode of Lunch Break, good. Ah.
I'd like to...
Go on.
I'd like to feast upon your gizzards with like a rosé and some lima beans.
Red boxed wine.
Yeah. What were you saying, John?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh no, I just think you said how it was a good time making that film, and it was kind of like a step up because we were shooting in that theater in the Iowa Memorial Union, and I'm just like, man, this feels a little bit, like we're trying to take higher steps in filmmaking, not just shooting in somebody's dorm room or whatever,
right.
Which we were always being told not to do, but somebody would try and do it anyway. So
exactly,
you kind of have to. That's just where people live.
Well,
I'm sorry if I'm a teacher at the school. Sometimes I just got to go to the dorm.
Everything was either in a dorm room or outside in the woods somewhere.
Yeah. Now you have your good friend who shoots most of your stuff, right?
Yeah, Austin Thompson. He shoots a lot of my stuff. He's really good. He's one of as far as DPs go, he's, I don't know, so knowledgeable, and he starts talking about little camera technical aspects. I'm just like, cool, man. Yeah, if it makes it look good, go for it.
Yeah,
I'm just like, whatever.
Your stuff always looks good.
Yeah,
so
I don't know. I think I know how to work a camera and all that stuff, but it's I've also gotten to the point where I'm like, I know people who can operate the camera better than me, so. Or I think I'm good at selecting people, whether it's DPs or actors or stuff of that nature. I always try and surround myself with people who are better at it than me because that's how you make a better movie.
That's right, and that's the attitude you have to have. Now, here's my question: how do you work closely with someone who says that they're your friend? I try to navigate that every day on this here show, and it becomes taxing.
I have the same question, funny enough.
Huh?
I have the same question.
You son of a...
Why I oughta... Answer.
Yeah, I guess as far as filmmaking goes, it's less stress to work with your friends. However, a lot of times your friends like to show up late to set and stuff, so... sometimes you gotta crack whips.
One time I showed up to a set at 6 a.m, and we shot till the day before. I go home, I get 2 hours of sleep. I just hear things screaming in my sleep. I'm so stressed out. They say, get to set early, we got to film. I show up to set, someone else isn't there, doing, doing, doing. So I sit and I watch another guy that we've hired as an actor sit in his car with his wife at 6 a.m. and eat a KFC Famous Bowl. And we just sit in an empty parking lot, and I just watch him eat this KFC. And I'm like, I didn't even know they're open this early. And he just goes, they're not. And him and his wife just sit there and eat these bowls. And I call my friends, hello, where are you?
But my side of the story is the third friend that was supposed to be there, who was directing, called me on my way into town and said, we need extension cords and some stuff printed at Walmart, photos and stuff. And I said, you tell me this now when I'm driving into town to be there on time? So I go to Walmart and I print off some stuff at the Instant Print Center.
They used to have those. Yeah, it's true.
Exactly. And it was for the scene that we were going to shoot later that I didn't know that we needed. So
okay, hey, look, I bear no false witness. God.
Was that for the film you guys made a while back where no, not that one? Where the one where Joey shows up at your house and you're like, did you kill someone?
That's
I
the
just
one.
remember that from the trailer. That's the one?
That's the one.
I remember that from the trailer too.
Yeah.
I was an extra in that film.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. It's
Yep.
crazy to think.
It is
In that little
crazy to
chapel.
think.
Yeah.
Crazy to think.
It's just crazy to think. Like you have a brain and it like does stuff.
I got a question.
does.
I have a question.
Okay.
I want you to listen to this because I have a question when this is over.
Sure.
Quiznos new Santa Fe Trio subs.
Okay, so my question is, John, this is the Quiznos Sponge Monkeys We Love the Subs ad from
Sure.
2007. The final line that they say is, "We got a pepper bar." So my question for you is, what what is that? When the Sponge Monkeys say, "We got a pepper bar," what is that? Have you ever gone to Have you ever gone to a Quiznos? Because I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I mean, I think Quiznos, I don't know, they do it kind of like Subway or like Pancheros or Chipotle would, right? Where it's like you go down the line and they have all the ingredients. I would just guess that they must have a lot of peppers,
Just an area
like
that's
a variety of peppers.
That's not something that I know about Quiznos to be true. That's just such a strange. I mean, how many types of peppers are there? Habanero, jalapeno,
Oh, I was thinking it's like cracked pepper.
and
Banana peppers.
that's all that's there.
There's one. There's one type of cracked pepper.
We got a pepper bar.
It's just 80
Yeah,
crackers. You're like, I'm putting this on my sandwich?
that could. Hey, people do that.
Yeah.
A little salt and pep.
My grandpa puts pepper on watermelon.
So, John, that's all. No. So that was kind of just weighing on my mind, and I wanted to get your take on it. And I appreciate that you were on the show to answer that question. Thought about it for the last 15 years now.
My pleasure. With that commercial was 15 years ago.
Yep. Crazy, huh?
I wonder
Time
if they're
flies.
going to reboot it.
They should, but maybe like animated, like a camp choral sort of situation.
Yeah, it's more like realistic looking.
A new Rugrats.
Yeah.
Come on, you monkeys, and me, Tommy. Tommy Pickle.
Do you think that's a good Tommy Pickles?
Come on, Dougie. How's that?
I don't know. Maybe if he's like,
You can say no
Come on, Dougie.
because
Yeah,
it's
I'll just
bad.
say no.
Yeah, it's bad.
I was like, maybe if Tommy Pickles grew up and became a little sketchy, but it sounds like it kind of sounds half Tommy Pickles, half Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
I'll take that. That's
Yeah.
probably the best response I've ever gotten to it.
Yeah. And I think it
Well.
is because he's trying to be nice.
Come on, baby, baby.
John, so we got a short film coming out. You got your long form. We'll call it a feature. I'll call it a feature. 50 minutes. God.
60 with
Yeah.
credits count.
Credits count, number one.
I'm sick of this. Hashtag credits count.
Yes.
Get it up there.
I'll sit through them. Is there a post credit? Do we get to see the other girl that stole the smile?
Or the girl that finds your smile.
Yes.
I did have one person say they think there should be a sequel, and I'm like, dude, it took me 4 years to make that movie. There will be no sequel. I have nothing left to say. I'm like, on that particular topic. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I asked you that kind of in private. You didn't need to kind of blast me on the show, but no, that's fine.
All right. Do you have a channel that our beautiful, kind listeners can find all of your nasty little pictures?
Oh yeah, I mean, Screw Loose Films. If you Google that on YouTube, that's where all my Screw Loose films are. I mean, you will see Diary of a Cannibal, which you are also in.
Ding!
You show up at the end as
Oh,
the,
yes.
I'm
a
the
detective.
young detective.
That's when
You don't under.
I graduated from being the psychopath to the depends on who you ask.
Yep.
Maybe
Yep.
a cop and a cop and a killer aren't so different. You and I.
Maybe the sequel was you become the cannibal, because you like at the end you're like, I don't understand how somebody could do this.
That's
maybe
right.
all of a sudden it snaps and you realize and you're like, all right, I'm gonna become a cannibal man.
Yeah.
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 What do you think?
Got a little blood on your fingers and you forget you eat a fry.
Yeah, and you're like,
this tastes really good.
Is that like the no sugar ketchup? I actually kind of prefer that to regular ketchup. Oh no, that's blood. I love it. All right, write that. We'll do that next summer.
You don't have to do that.
Cool.
Okay, he's into it. Whatever you guys want to do. I'll just be sitting here waiting for Landon to come do another episode of the lunch break. Landon, take it away.
John, take it away. Thank you for being on. Thank you for being on lunch break.
Yeah, thank
We hope
you.
that you had
I
fun.
appreciate it.
We sure had fun, and all of our listeners are having fun right now as they hear us clapping loudly for you.
Yeah. Good deal.
But really, thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem. I really appreciate it. This was fun. Yeah.
See, he's just saying that to be nice.
Check this out. All right, John, we'll see you on the next one.
Yes.
See what he says.
See what he says.
Oh.
I'll be looking for that short film in my inbox.
Cool. Yeah, works for me.
All right. Bye, John.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, pal.
See ya.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Lunch Break. Thank you to Jon Dziuk, Screw Loose Films.
Thank you so much to Jon Dziuk from Screw Loose Films. He's coming at you live and in 5. Check out the YouTube, mates. And we are back with our show that we always do. And we are so comfortable speaking on microphone to all of our fans out there.
We know that you guys have loved, because people keep emailing us. They keep commenting on all of our statuses and our pokes when we poke all of our listeners, and they always comment and they go, and then they
Poke. What are you looking at?
and they're like, I love month of the blank. Anytime we did month of the song,
Yeah.
rave reviews, everyone loved it. We heard from people, feedback, night and day, so that we know that we should be wasting our time doing this.
Right. And then we did month of.
We did month of the character,
Yeah.
which people were like, I think you're just having people on the show. No, those were characters.
Yeah.
And then we did month of the
The
guest.
guest.
So
These 5 years have flown by so fast.
I look forward to the day I turn 25 with you
Yeah. By my side.
in a cabin.
As we tie ourselves to a raft and set ourselves out to sea.
Completely naked like Emil Hirsch in that Into the Wild movie. You're like, I'm watching this with my dad.
Doesn't matter. He's in that van.
Can we not?
Hey, Emil, can you put your page back?
Now, Joey, we did the guest. Now we have to get to lunch break.
Yum 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 yum.
You want to take my hand?
I promised it last week, and guess what? I'm not a liar.
Coca-Cola Starlight. This is space flavored. God, we should have like the
Landon?
yeah.
It smells like space.
Oh no. Let me.
I just saw it pump out.
Okay, this is awesome.
Here, take a little space. Starlight flavored. Interesting. Space flavored. Interestinger.
It's red. That's interesting for a Coke.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. You don't normally get a red Coke unless it's cherry Coke.
I like it.
It has a strange aftertaste.
Yeah. Because it's from space.
Okay.
Here's the deal. You know I'm a cokehead.
Yeah.
Not like that.
Okay.
Not like that.
Mister.
I love Coca-Cola. I love Diet Coke. I love Cherry Coke. I love Vanilla Coke. I love Lemon Coke. Remember they had Lemon Coke?
Yeah, surprisingly good. Do you remember Orange Coke?
Hey, yeah, I like it. You know what I like?
What?
Coffee Coke. Remember when we tried that?
Yeah.
I love
That was
Coffee
great.
Coke. That was great. This Coke, is it my favorite Coke? No.
No.
But it is good, and I do like it, and I give it a 0.8.
Landon, I would like to read you, now that we've tried it and we've said our, what do you think it tastes like?
Is it not supposed to just taste like something strange?
Is it supposed to taste like what space tastes like?
What is that? What does it mean? Space
Well,
flavored.
we know that space has a smell.
It does?
Yeah.
Smells like your astronaut friends that are like farting in zero G's.
I'm glad you finished that up with Tronot Films.
Smells like your ass. Tronot Films. You can't even make this up if you tried. And yet here we are, making it up as we go.
Coca-Cola says it has a, they said you will get a subtle cooling sensation. Let me feel. Doink. It's also nostalgic. In 1985, Coca-Cola is one of the first soft drinks to be consumed in outer space. Okay, don't care. Here's how
Actually, dude, that's kind of cool.
they actually chugged it up there.
Yeah, and then they belched, and then they flew through zero G like Harlan Williams in Rocketman.
Would you like to hear what some people at CNET thought it tastes like?
Suit gets big, he farts. Suit gets big.
Burnt caramel.
Burnt caramel?
Skittles. I can kind of see. Someone says Skittles. Someone said cream soda. Someone says cherry Coke. Someone said watered down strawberry soda. It is fruity, yeah.
I like when Norm Macdonald played Burnt Caramel on Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you call me Turd Ferguson.
Yeah. And he's like, Burnt, I'm not going to call you Turd Ferguson. I am going to stop being friends with Adam McKay.
Oh, yeah? Yeah? Oh, that's
You guys have to
interesting.
just watch the video to see what Landon's doing.
It's doing
He's
it great.
Transformed into McDonald doing burnt caramel. Is anybody getting this? Jon Dziuk is going to put this episode out and say, hey, guys, was on an episode of Lunch Break. You can start at about the 4.5 minute mark and turn it off. Specifically 25 minutes later.
As soon as you hear them say goodbye for 5 minutes, you can turn it off.
I got to take another sip of space.
We're from the Midwest, okay? When you say goodbye, just know that you have another hour. You're going to your car, you have to say goodbye at the car. You're at a party, you say goodbye at the party.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then you walk out to the door to put your shoes on, put your coat on. Now you're saying goodbye at the coat rack.
Yeah.
Then you go outside at the front door. The door's open for, 20 minutes. All the mosquitoes get in.
Yep.
You're like, there's a skeeter on my Peter. Flake it off. Your friend Peter's there, and
And he goes,
and then you walk out to your car. Now, this is another 20 minutes. And then finally you're saying your goodbyes at the car. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what it's like to be from the Midwest.
okay, actually, you know what? Boss level. You're in the car and you roll the window down. Yeah. You roll the window down to keep saying even as you drive away, and then the person you're talking to, finally, you know it's over when you start driving away and they pretend that you drove over their foot.
Yeah.
That's how
and then God tier.
Oh.
You say, "Ope." I mean, of course, it tastes like Skittles because it tastes like candy, fruit candy flavored, not fruit flavors, but candy fruit flavors.
It's a sugary doing.
It tastes like runts.
I had never eaten a little runt before.
It smells like caramel, though. I get that.
Runts. I haven't had nerds in a while.
I haven't had nerds in a while, unless you count when I ate you for lunch.
Get in there. Goy.
Get in my belly.
Now, there's a thing with bullies. Some of them, I'd say,
Are right.
but I'd say bullies are right. But I'd say 60%, 65% want your lunch money. Smart bully. The other 35% are like, give me your lunch.
Yeah.
So those first bullies, those are the enterprisers, because they get these are raw goods. They have not been turned into anything yet.
Yes, and
The
much
other guys-
like Enterprise, they will pick you up.
and much like Enterprise, Picard will be back for season 2 after these commercial breaks.
Pick you up and shake all the money out of you like this.
Upside down with a garbage crown, bro.
You
This
really
does
are
have
from
a cooling
Chicago.
sensation.
You really are from Chicago.
Is it just me, or does it feel like I just ate a Tums and now the heartburn's just going away?
Yeah, and it's making me belch. Isn't that a character from Bob's Boygas? I've never seen the show, okay? I get it. I've seen one commercial, I know. It's like,
But here's what happened.
honey, why don't you come over and make a burger with me?
Oh, Peter.
Yeah. I was like, come on. We can't just keep making cartoons, can we? Can we really keep making cartoons?
That's why they're doing the animated now. Like, what don't you get? That's what they do, the animated now.
And it's like, okay, yeah, 12 years on TV, let's give them a movie.
Yeah, 12 years in a movie. God.
Give me a break. Okay, what do you I give it a 0.8. I like this cola.
I'm actually not much of a soda guy.
Brother.
Hold on.
In the words of one of my favorite animated series.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. There is Coca-Cola would probably be a 1, right? In terms of what
Yes.
people think about it.
Yes.
And if honestly, I would say this. A glass bottle of Mexican Coke.
Oh, it's real
That's
sugar,
a 1.1.
baby.
It's over the limit. It's yeah, and I want to say this before I rate this, Landon. I found, so we've talked about the fruity because that's what we rate things out of.
Right.
One fruity cake.
Right.
I found a fruity pebble white chocolate candy bar.
Huh?
Fruity Pebbles in white chocolate.
Is it Kit Kat, though?
Not Kit Kat. It's
Then I don't trust
it's
it.
actual Fruity Pebbles in white chocolate.
Oh.
And so I bought it, and I get it home because I say this is going to be good for the podcast. This is like our rating
He
system.
ate it by himself.
Guess what happens? I get it home. There's a rip in it. Do I bring this candy bar back to the store and say, yeah,
No,
really
they
sorry.
don't believe you.
And I went so out of my way, like, can I just exchange this for a different one?
They're not going to believe you.
Or do I let it sit on my counter until it gets to the point where it's so stale that I say, it's really stale. I don't even have I just didn't eat it. I'm not going to bring it over here. I'm not going to poison my best friend, Landon. I'm not going to do it.
You've done that already.
0.7 for the Coca-Cola space flavor. I don't know what it is. That's what makes me mad. That's why I want to give it a 0.6, just because I'm so peeved.
Fruit and vegetable juice for color, phosphoric acid, caramel color, caffeine. Yeah, I don't know. Are they ever going to tell us?
It kind of tastes like rocks. To be honest, it kind of tastes like rocks. I wish you'd kick them.
Speaking of,
What does space smell like?
According to Australian Academy of Science, sweet-smelling welding fumes, burning metal, a distinct odor of ozone, an acrid smell, walnuts and brake pads, gunpowder,
What?
and even burnt almond cookie.
Burnt almond cookie! 0.7.
what'd you watch?
I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2 in the new one.
Did you have anything other to say about that?
The first one is a perfect film. No matter how many times I watch it,
It's a 10 out of 10.
it's just so disgusting and gross to watch.
You're
It's a
disgusting.
perfect horror film because the whole time you watch it, you say the people making this are either got sick or died, and they're all disgusting because they're laying in bones and chicken feathers and muck. They're all laying in muck.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. Normalize having a good time on set. Normalize having a good time on
This
set.
was the 70s. This was, we're making art. We're doing it for the people. We're making a movie. It's just a couple guys with a camera and some chicken bones. The whole movie was made. It's me and my friends. It's me. So it's me, everyone, Tobe Hooper, and my friends. We go out, 2 chicken bones, some feathers, and a camera. And we make one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
It's true.
The Starlight Express. Now, this is a good movie, but yes, it does seem like something that if I personally had to be there making it, if I was there for one iota of a time, I would hate it. But it's a good movie. Second one, God, I know people love it because it's fun, but this woman just screams the whole movie. It's just annoying. Normalize not screaming. Guys can't scream.
I'll go one further. Normalize not having women in movies.
Isolate that. People that don't get this show and they go, Landon's being serious. It's actually that we're joking. But if you're going to isolate it and say that we're not joking, there's nothing we can do about that.
There's absolutely nothing. And I want to circle back to you saying 1 iota, and I want to say, you come here and you call me 1 iota? Put me in your movie, you call me 1 iota? It's Ray Liotta.
This is what I call, this is my impersonation. Is that what we call that? No, we'll call it an impression because it's a little bit less harsh. Yeah. This is my impression of a 1 iota.
Oh, go ahead.
Ow! Out my eye you have stabbed. So he's got 1 left. One left. Hey, if you guys are just joining us now, you're in this is the gold part of the episode.
This is the part that people want more of, and yet we don't give it to them.
No, this is why they call it the
Sorry.
Twilight years, because it happens later and there's not that much of it. And then you just wish it would last forever, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
We gotta work up to it in the episode. We have to interview someone.
And then it ends. And we go, bye. And then it ding, 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 ding. And then you end on a high.
Yeah.
So you're like, fine, you know what? I'll give him one more chance next week.
Yeah.
And then it's utter shite for 45 minutes again.
But then at the very end, you remember why you tuned in to join the guys on the lunch break program. Landon, did you watch something?
I watched so much. Because I haven't been able to talk about what I wanted to talk about for like 2 weeks.
Was it because we've only been having guests on, my dear boy?
Yeah. I wrote down a list. I can't even remember all these things.
He's got a list to read and everyone's gonna go to sleep. I watched Across the Universe.
No. Here. Okay. Here's the deal. Okay. These are all Netflix films. Okay. Well, actually, first off, I watched one that wasn't Spencer. Because we're kind of going through the Oscar movies. Spencer's the Princess Diana of Wales. And it is by Kristen Stewart is playing Diana. And she does very good. And it is a very good movie. Although it does raise a bunch of questions while I'm watching it that are like, okay, so this is made up. The whole thing is made up. It didn't actually happen. It's like a fake story based on what may have happened. It's like, you can't just do that, can you? These are people. There are still people's lives that are still alive that this will affect.
Her kids.
Her kids
If
are still
they just
around.
made a movie about my mom that's made up.
And it's like, and this movie, I mean, it doesn't paint her in a bad light, but it does make her seem like she went cuckoo bananas insane. And you're like, wow, so that's what you think my mom was doing on the Christmas of 1992?
I was there, and I know she wasn't doing that.
But then you go to the Netflix side of things, and you watch one of the worst movies ever made, The Weekend Away. Ever heard of it?
Nope.
It's a bad movie. Bad movie.
I'm going to look this up. I hope it's not a movie about woke teens, which I will destroy. All right, John.
Oh, John.
Okay.
John Cleese.
Oh, John, please get out of here.
It's starring Leighton Meester of Gossip Girl fame and that one Cobra Starship song where she was a singer for a day. I don't know. You know, sometimes you get big and you're like, I'm a singer now too, and you're like, I know your time and do your dance little game and do your day. It's like anyone could do that.
It's like how on the last the Portugal the Man album, the one that exploded, where he's like, the last song on that album says featuring Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Really?
Okay, didn't know she'd singer now.
Okay, I thought she was only been in all the best movies ever
But
made.
it's probably just when you're hanging out at the studio with some of your bros.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're making an album today. And she's like,
Well, anyway, this movie sucks. And it's the Netflix thing. Some of their movies look good, and then most of them look like utter shite.
It's the Netflix thing. Okay, when her best friend vanishes during a girl's trip to Croatia,
Yes.
a woman races to figure out what happened. However, each clue yields another unsettling deception.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen. And another Netflix movie that's terrible, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that was in the list. But the thing about this movie is that it seemed like it was all shot on location in Croatia, which is cool. You're like, oh, cool. But it looks bad. It looks like a soap opera. I don't know what are they doing. Anyway.
And if you disagree with us, if you love one of these movies, come on our show.
Sure.
If you listen to this episode and you go, oh, they're talking bad about Texas Chainsaw, come on here.
Yes, defend it.
Send us a message.
I dare
Defend us.
the movie.
But if you also agree with us, defend us.
Oh, yes.
From
Yes,
our haters.
Yes.
Help us be goat sauce.
So then we venture over to the Oscar side. The good Netflix originals. You go to Tick Tick Boom. You go to Tick Tick Boom and you say, "This is the life, bo 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 bo. This is the life, bo 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 bo." And you say, "Yes, Andrew Garfield is a snack, and he is so quirky, and he is so hot." And he is good in the movie, and it is a good movie. Now, sad movie at the end, because as we all know, it is based on the real man who did write Rent and did
Rocket Man
die suddenly. But the whole movie is happy until the end when they're like, Jonathan died that day. And you're like, what? What? And I know it's a matter of public record, but good God, the whole movie was like about him working so hard to make his little musical, and he's finally catches a break, and it's like, then he made Rent and died.
But isn't that the story?
It is, isn't it?
It's like that Robert Pattinson movie where he walks into the World Trade Centers.
Yeah. Actually, a pretty good movie.
Both of them. Until the end, right? Because then aren't you just confused?
Well, I will say that we do stan our bats, as we call them now. Our Robert Pattinson, in our home, we bow down to two men and two men only. Robert Pattinson and Robert Pattinson's shadow.
Yeah.
So
it's Robert Pattinson, and you also bow down to Robert Pattinman's shadow. Got it.
we went to Remember Me in the theater. Perfectly fine, little romantic comedy even. Not so much comedy, but there's funny parts.
We went to Remember Me in the theater. What a weird sentence.
And
We went to Remember Me in the theater.
and you're watching, you're kind of like, oh, this is kind of nice. And they get together, and then he's like, all right, well, I go start my job. So I'm gonna go to my job for the first day, and a whole new world is opening up for this young man. And then yes, he walks up to his beautiful office. He looks out the window, and I think right before he leaves, it like shows a calendar or something, and it zooms in on September 11th, and then he's at his office, and it pans out, and it shows you that he is in one of the Twin Towers. It's shocking.
Bananas.
It's any movie that you've ever seen that was like, oh, a shocking twist. No shock compares to Remember Me.
Because has a movie ever had the main character just die suddenly halfway through? Because sometimes you think about that, like this guy could have just got hit by a car.
It's an idea that I've always thought about.
But is it sellable? That's the thing.
I always had this idea, and I tried to, that third friend that we talked about, I tried to convince him once that this was a good idea. You start the movie with Bruce Willis. Say.
Yes.
He's in the car, he's driving along, whatever. Suddenly, he dies, and the whole movie is about his family dealing with him dying. But you think it's going to be about him. It's the star of the movie, right? Wrong.
But you don't know that going in.
Yeah. And anyway, I think that's a good idea.
Or like an action movie where it's like the hero, he gets killed. And then the rest of the movie's just watching the rest of it play out without him.
Yeah.
Think about that. Just think about it. Don't steal it from us, a-holes.
No, we've already mailed these ideas to ourselves.
Yeah.
So
and I talked to the guy at the post office. I said, "Does this actually do anything?"
He said yes.
Yeah.
So,
and I was pointing at the penny
crotch
muncher.
Oh.
That smashes your penny.
It smashes your penny. You pay 51 cents, and you get back a smashed penny that you will lose almost immediately.
Unless you pay $15.99 for the little laminated book. It's got a bald eagle on the front.
That's right. And then you get them at each location of Yellowstone.
Yep. The Bison House, the Squirter.
It's a small book.
The Truth, the Big Hole.
There's 3 locations. Okay, so Tick, Tick, Boom. I love this movie.
Yes.
8 out of 10. Is it Oscar worthy? His performances, the movie, but it is good and it's a solid movie. Now, the other Netflix movie,
Andrew Garfield is a revelation,
is
Up on the Rooftop.
Hey, dog, you seem to have a lot of power. That's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh.
And he's saying that. And he's like, hey, dog, I'm an American male, and I'm saying you have a lot of power. Power of the Dog.
Oh.
A little Western movie about a little tiny man who talks about his friend all the time. Bronco Henry taught me how to ride a pony. And you're like, okay, I kind of get where this is going. Bronco Henry taught me how to put lotion on my saddle.
Go on.
This movie is great.
Yeah, I wanted to see it, and I just haven't yet. So bug off, Mang.
God, this movie's great. And one of the best uses of sound that I've seen in a movie or heard in a movie in quite some time. When you hear the ching, ching, ching of Benedict Cumberbatch's little boots walking around the house. God! Just keep an eye out for that. Or an ear out for that. Good movie.
I thought just today, literally just today, because my mom said you should watch this, and I said, I'll check it out.
She watched it?
Like 4 months ago.
Yeah, when it came out, and everyone said you should watch it.
Yep.
And I said, I'll get to it.
And I said, yeah, I'll get to it. Now it's like up for best. Now I can't be cool. I can't be like, I saw it when it was before it was the movie.
Yeah.
But I said, maybe this will be the movie that makes me care about Benedict Cumberbatch.
Hey, honestly, that's what I was thinking. And guess what? It did. It did. It worked. I finally got it. I finally said, this is what people are talking about. He is good.
He had to smoke a cigarette.
That's what it was. He has like a little patchy beard, and you're like, this is the strong cowboy man. But suddenly, you're transported to a time where he's the scariest person you could think of.
Okay, say no more. I'm going home to watch The Power of the Dog.
Kirsten Dunst is good in it. She's barely in it. I don't know how. But that's supporting actor for you, you know? They give these things away to people that are in it for 2 minutes. You're like, how do they get a supporting actor nom?
But Streep is still being stripped of her title?
What?
Well, that's just... Oh, Meryl Streep has never won an award for anything she's done at the Academy Awards. Meryl Streep, these people come in and they do one little thing and they get supporting actor, but Meryl Streep can't win one damn award. It makes me furious. Your thoughts?
I don't think that's true.
Meryl Streep has never won an award, ever. Your thoughts, Landon? You've got Kirsten Dunst doing such a little thing, and she comes out, she goes, well, Mr. Cumberbatch. Seems to be the power of a dog. But Meryl Streep can't catch a damn break. Thoughts?
She's overrated.
He thinks she overate. Oh, I'm so full, but just one more biscuit.
Landon's looking up. He literally just Googled Streep.
No, I just wanted to see if I left off any movies.
I'm sorry I'm talking this way. I've got Streep throat.
I also watched the movie Windfall on Netflix.
And?
It's fine.
What time are we at?
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.